I had an army patient some time back. So he was like, "Ma'am, I'm very fine eating with many corpses by my side. I don't care if I have so many dead bodies. I can have my lunch or dinner because I see that every day." People lack meaningful connections nowadays. It is very difficult for some people to find anyone who can listen to them empathically and understand what they are trying to say. So maybe by posting everything online, they try to get a sense of belongingness. Attention is the biggest reinforcer you can ever give. You need to be cautious, and you need to draw that line, how much is human, and
Hmm.
from where the empathy should not end and it should not turn into an apathetic state.
Right.
Usually people are very instinctually drawn to ones that are negative rather than the positive ones. My advice is that give time to your emotions, take time to process them.
Right.
Nothing is either black or white.
We're living in a time where everything is shared online: birthdays, vacations, protests, achievements. But lately, something else is showing up more and more on our feeds: people recording themselves crying. Some of these videos feel like genuine cries for help, like when actor Tanushri Datta posted a video of herself crying and asking for help. Others seem edited, set to music, and sometimes even mocked. From teenagers to influencers, many are choosing to go public with their pain. It raises a difficult question. Why are we turning to the internet in our most fragile moments? Is this a healthy form of expression, or are we learning to perform our emotions for an audience? To understand what's going on beneath the surface, we spoke to a clinical psychologist. Hi, I'm Sonakshi Awasthi from the Federal, and today we're speaking to Dr. Anubhuti Jain, an assistant professor of psychology in Lucknow and a PhD in clinical psychology, who works closely with young people and understands how social media is shaping the way we express our emotions. Welcome, Dr. Anubhuti. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm fine.
All right, let's dive into the questions right away. We're seeing more people, especially teenagers and influencers, recording themselves crying or sharing emotional breakdowns on social media. What does this say about how we process emotions today?
So, I would like to say that first of all, people lack meaningful connections nowadays. And the depth that used to be there in the relationships has gone. So, it is very difficult for some people to find anyone who can listen to them empathically and understand what they are trying to say. So maybe by posting everything online, they try to get a sense of belongingness to the community, that okay, they are belonging to the community, or people are giving them attention. So that is why maybe that people are nowadays turning more towards the social media rather than real life connections.
So, like exactly what you said, like social media was once a space to share highlights, achievements, celebrations, even activism. But now it's also become a stage for raw personal pain. Psychologically, what drives someone to make that decision to hit record when they're most vulnerable?
Like I said, people want the spotlight, that they should be recognized, they should be heard, and they should be the center of attention. So when nowadays everything is like posted online, and people are becoming extremely personal, extremely open even in their personal field, on the social arena and everything. So somewhere or the other they get that sense of being noted, or they try to use their emotions so that they
Basically,
can.
acknowledged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically that is see, attention is the biggest reinforcer you can ever give. And if you don't feel that you were attended to, or you were given enough importance, so then you feel a sense of void. So that is basically what the youth, especially the teenagers today, are trying to get by hitting the social media.
So you said that most of the people are doing this for attention, but some of these videos actually come across as like genuine cries for help. while others feel obviously like more curated or even like performative. How do you, as a psychologist, view this blurred line between expression and performance?
You are right. Sometimes it is genuine people who are hitting the social media for help. So, like for example, I had a patient once. His mother was on deathbed and they needed some money. So they took to social media and did a campaign sort of thing to raise money, where many people entered. They did help them, while many also felt that it was a fake message. So many just walked away. So as a psychologist, what I feel is that it is very subjective. Something that might strike a chord with me might not strike a chord with you. And
Yes.
also, because there is so much of exposure to emotions online, and especially the negative ones are easily followed rather than the positive ones. So
Hmm.
the people, you cannot just confront anyone that this is fake and this is right. It's just very subjective, I believe, that it's up to you that what you will follow and what you believe might be fake, and just you can skip it. So there is no specific demarcation, or there is no
Hmm.
one rule that I would say to it.
So, would you consider it healthy to express emotions so publicly, or does it like risk creating a dependency on external validation, especially from strangers online?
See, there can be both aspects to it, but yes, considering the fact that today's world is becoming a place for all sorts of crimes, like recently there was this story on social media that there was an unmarried man, middle aged, and he had a lot of property, and then he took to social media and he shared that I want to get married. So he ended up being murdered, and the property being
Right.
obviously going into wrong hands and all. So where most of the people might be doing it with positive intent, the receiver is not always on the positive note.
Hmm.
So there is always you should be very cautious, because you cannot rely on anyone whom you have not seen or met in person. And also, like for example, there is a weak soul nowadays for the people, to be very precise, because
Hmm.
people will easily take all the information from you and then use it against you. So I advise that you need to be cautious while sharing anything, especially the personal space, on social media handles.
Right. It's okay to be vulnerable, but just have a little like caution, right?
Caution, yes.
Right. So, what does the algorithm play the role here? I mean, if crying or sharing trauma brings more views or engagement on social media, does it unconsciously encourage people to commodify that pain?
Yes, somewhere or the other it does, because for example, if you look at all the sad songs that are there, okay, or if you look at there was this recent incident in the Meghalaya murder. Okay, now I heard some time back that it is being maybe turned into a movie. Okay, so it is somewhere it is very personal for some people, but at the same time they may be willing enough to use their emotions, willing to commodify them. So there is no specific rule that you can follow, but again, as I said earlier, you need to be cautious, and you need to draw that line, how much is human, and
Hmm.
from where the empathy should not end, and it should not turn into an apathetic state where people just don't give a give will care about anyone's emotions at all. So that is that.
So, right. So, is there like a risk that constant exposure to these kind of emotional posts could like desensitize the audience? Exactly what you said. Like there should be empathy. So, but is there a risk to this? Because, or even like people mocking serious emotions or mental health struggles?
Yes, there is always this risk, because mm, see again, it depends upon the amount of exposure that you have had. So for example, if you talk about death, let's say, to a person belonging to the army or the police background. Okay, they'll be
Right.
like, okay, I have seen enough of it. I'm
Right.
maybe I had an army patient some time back. So he was like, ma'am, I'm very fine eating with many corpses by my side. I don't care if I have so many dead bodies. I can have my lunch or dinner because I see that every day. So
Right.
he is like indifferent to death, maybe. Okay, so
Hmm.
when we keep posting on social media, so this happens in a very natural way, that people become, accustomed and are not very overwhelmed by it. Okay, this keeps happening, this is nothing new. But then again, I'll say that this is somewhere subjective, because some topic will definitely strike a chord with you. Now, maybe
Hmm.
a heartache, maybe a murder, maybe a rape case, anything. But
Right.
usually people are very instinctually drawn to ones that are negative rather than the positive ones, because
Right.
that strikes a chord emotionally very strongly as compared to some positive event. So I advise that people should be cautious about it again, and make wise choices as to whom to follow or whom to believe or not to believe.
So, lastly, what would be your advice to this generation, Generation Z or millennials, especially Generation Z, who is very vulnerable on social media? What would be your advice to them?
Um See, the Gen Z today, as we call them, want everything very instantly. They don't have patience, and they don't you know like waiting. So where so many people are taking to suicides and all that. So my advice is that give time to your emotions, take time to process them.
Right.
Nothing is either black or white, so there are grays in between, so you need to acknowledge those grays, because no days will be all good and neither all days will be bad. But an instant of bad emotion just leads them to an impulse maybe, and they end up giving up their life, or just they think that everything is over. So the most foremost thing that they need to do is that they need to process their emotions and give time to themselves. And then when they are in a calm state of mind, when they have got over that emotion which was very very strong at that time, then they should maybe take a decision and weigh the pros and cons, and then move ahead accordingly.
Right, like the old saying goes, time heals everything.
Time heals everything, yes,
They
so you
should be
need to
abiding
just,
by that.
yes, time is
All right.
money.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jain.